What's up, y'all? This episode is going to be about the mediocrity trap. These conversations are in line with observations that I've made and just the way that I'm looking at the .com era, this series, especially the internet era, and kind of looking back before looking into the future, trying to point at the weaknesses of the era we are coming out of, which is the internet era, and trying to look at what could be different in the AI era. In a system where everyone is being forced to hustle and everyone is being forced to grind, it becomes about volume and noise and not quality. It becomes about performance and not value. And what happens in a system like that is that the output, the quality of the output is reduced. And so we find that we are actually not performing to our optimum best. We are being mediocre because what is required of us does not allow us to produce quality. The internet era has valued volume over value. We've been sold a lie that consistency means frequency. That if you aren't posting every day, emailing every hour, and being everywhere at once, you're falling behind. And this created a race to the bottom where the loudest voices won regardless of whether they had anything to say or not. Come on. Think of a think of a radio channel that is playing 24/7 just to keep its frequency occupied. It's consistent and it's active, but it provides zero value to the listener. Because in this system, you're encouraged to produce noise just to stay on the radar of an algorithm that doesn't care about your message. You really think these platforms are really trying to get your message across so badly that they really need you to post every other minute so that the algorithm can get that message through? Come on, man. Now, think of a think of a lighthouse. It doesn't shine a light every second. It rotates and flashes with precision. But because it is positioned correctly and shines with high intensity, it provides the exact logic needed to guide a ship to safety. It doesn't need to be loud, it just needs to be accurate. This focus on volume is a mediocrity trap. It forces the underdog to spend 90% of their energy on maintenance, just trying to stay visible, rather than to actually be able to innovate, to be able to go into a place of quiet and focus on the work to be done. But how are you going to produce a work of value when you've got to be on all the time? How are you going to be in quiet when you've got to be loud all the time? The underdog spends 90% of their energy on maintenance, just trying to stay visible rather than innovation. And when you are exhausted from simply showing up, you have zero energy left to be remarkable. You're working for the platform's growth. People stay on the platform longer because they got to watch what you put up. And with some luck, it will get through, and a few more people will send it around. So you're working for the platform's growth, but not the growth of your quality, not the growth of your talent, not the growth of your passion, not the growth of what makes you you. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to move from volume to velocity. In physics, velocity isn't just speed, it's speed with direction. True consistency isn't about how often you show up, it's about the quality of the logic you bring when you do. Consistency that is bound in logic. 1 hour of high focus building rather than a month of mediocre hustling. That is the direction that we are headed. The underdog is going into quality productivity, value systems. The extraction demands constant noise to feed the platform. We aren't doing that. We are demanding high quality to move the mission. We are building for substance. We are preparing the mind to realize that the world doesn't need more content, it needs better solutions. We are training ourselves to stop being content creators and start being architects of the future. To stay away from the noise, to get into the place of strength, into the place of insight and wisdom, and to map the future for the next generations. I don't know about you, but I'm done dancing. Not that I ever was able to dance anyway, but so this is what I'm going to ask you to do. Look at the output of your work from last week. Figure out which 10% of your work actually moved you closer to your goal. You'll be surprised what it was. And because of the noise, sometimes you may not even notice what those moments were. And then ask yourself, if I stopped doing the other 90% of the things that really didn't move the needle today, would my business die? Or would I finally have the space to make that 10% legendary? Choose quality over clutter. Osakre's vibe here. I'm gonna end the conversation here. We are saying no to mediocrity. We are saying no to feeding the noise. We are saying yes to focusing on the 10 to 20% of the things that we do that actually moves the needle so that we can be in that sweet spot. We can be in that flow. We can be in our element so that we can truly impact the people that we are called to, our customers, our community, our followers, our supporters, that we can serve better and that we can truly manifest our purpose without exhaustion and without that constant staying on to feed a machine that is supposed to be actually, if anything, feeding us, doing the work for us as we guide and instruct and point in the direction that it should be going as the architects. On the next episode, I'm going to be talking about the dopamine debt. This is the era of the Underdog series. Thanks for sticking around. See you on the next episode.